We're group number 26, and we're going to be talking a little bit about hot air balloons, how they work, and how they can potentially fail. So hot air balloons were introduced in the mid-1700s, and they were the first successful mode of aerial transportation. And they work basically through buoyancy, through the hot air that lifts the balloon, which is also called an envelope, to a desired elevation. The balloon can be controlled by a vent on the top that the operator can control from the basket, and hot air balloons can only travel in linear vertical motions. The upper buoyant force must be larger than the force of the air column above it to essentially lift the balloon and everything that it's carrying. And in order for these balloons to work, the center of mass must be below the centroid of the balloon, and this allows the balloon to remain stable and to keep the basket with the people safe on the bottom.
Another way to understand how hot air balloons work is through numbers and equations. To do this, we'll be using the ideal gas equation and the buoyancy equation. The first step is finding the balloon air density. We assume pressure is constant inside and outside of the balloon at atmospheric pressure. We also assume that the molar mass of air is the molecular weight of nitrogen, because nitrogen makes up 79% of the air around us. Most hot air balloons achieve a temperature of about 120 degrees Celsius or 393 Kelvin. If we plug all these numbers into the ideal gas equation, but solve for density, we get that the density of the air inside the balloon is 0.868 kilograms per meter cubed. As long as the balloon density is less than the air density, lift force occurs and the balloon will rise. Buoyancy happens when the air density is equal to the density of the balloon.
We want to get into the mechanical failures of hot air balloons. Therefore, we decided what would happen if the hatch at the top of the hot air balloon were to close and not be able to open again. The hatch allows heat to escape the hot air balloon, which lets the user sink and rise whenever they would like to. Therefore, if it were to only be able to be closed, the only thing the user could do is go up until the air is too thin for it to move any higher.
Another aspect to consider about hot air balloons is the natural limitation. Mother Nature can prevent the success of the balloons. Hot air balloons are controlled by the winds and the density of the surrounding air. If natural forces change during a flight, the height and the direction of the balloons will be influenced by the surrounding conditions.
Overall, hot air balloons are a pretty simple mechanism to work with. They can work very consistently if the right density is achieved by heating up the air inside the balloon. If the balloon density is equal to atmospheric density, there will be buoyancy. Balloons can fail through a couple mechanisms and scenarios, such as failure to release hot air, as there will be absolutely no descent until it reaches a certain point in the atmosphere. Also, nature can prevent safe flights overall. Thank you.